When this process was getting thrust in our backyards in our lap, the idea of this coming to New York, Catskill Mountain Chief was running around trying to find more and more information about what this all meant. And when you first looked at some of the documents, you found the ridiculous things that you all remember as opening up that original SGEIS the first time that said, due to the nature of gas drilling, there's no cumulative impact. A whole series of things. Well, one of the first things that I testified for at a hearing was to ask for a health impact assessment. At the time, everybody's like, nobody's going to do a health impact assessment. What are you talking about? Well, number one, that was at a hearing that was put together by one of our elected officials who called for a hearing to find out more information, the same way all of us were trying to get more information. And then he has held those hearings every October now. It's become an annual event. And then last spring, he had a hearing on health impacts. I'd like to welcome Assemblyman Bob Sweeney.
Let me tell you, I'm going to be the quiet one, by the way. No yelling, no shouting. I'll leave that for other people. But, well, thank you. Thank you. Adrian says effective. Thank you. We'll find out. You know, Wes makes an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it. Since 2009, we've been working on this issue and holding hearings on this issue. And you're being here today, and I want to start with, first and foremost, the most important thing that I can tell you is how, from a legislator's point of view, how important it is for you to be here today. If you're wondering why you got up early and made that trip in bad weather, and do I really have to do this? Yes, you do, and yes, this is important. So let me start by saying thank you for everything, for being here today, for all the work you're going to do here today, and speaking to legislators, Assembly and Senate. I can tell you that in the 3 years, the multiple hearings that we've done, all of the correspondence and the letters to DEC, all the communication we've had with organizations, with individuals, with other legislators, how this whole issue has shifted. And I think the fact that we're here 3 years after the fact is a great thing, and it hasn't happened yet, is good. Okay? Because it means people are taking the time to honestly look at this issue and come to the right conclusion. And I can see that in the legislature. I can't tell you how many of my legislative colleagues in the Assembly, and the Assembly, I will take a moment to point out, has been the leader on this issue. And I want to say thank you to all of my Assembly colleagues, some of whom are here today, Linda Rosenthal from New York City, Micah Kellner from New York City. As the impetus of Barbara Lipton must be here someplace, but you have so much support in the Assembly, and a lot of it is because you made that effort, but a lot of it is because the information is getting out and the communication is being made. And I have had many of my colleagues tell me in the last couple of weeks that they've had time to think about this issue. I'm sure what they mean is they've been hearing from their constituents about this issue, and they're having a change of heart. The fact is that over the 3 years that we've been doing the hearings and everything else, what we have learned is how much we still have to learn. There isn't a week that goes by where we don't hear about things that are happening in other states, things that are happening in other countries. What's the latest country to ban hydrocarbons? Bulgaria. We're going to be second to Bulgaria. So the fact is that your being here is important. It is having an effect. The information that comes out is having an effect. And people are beginning to understand, you know, hydrofracking is an industrial activity. It would change the face of this state. It would change the health and well-being of the residents of this state. It would affect the quality of our environment. And it would impose new costs on the state and its taxpayers. So let's take the time to understand the whole story before it's too late and before the damage is done. Thank you for being here today.